This is a story about government censorship. Right now, it's about Donald Trump's right-wing MAGA government censorship. If he gets away with it, it could break truly very long precedents and be used or abused by others. But right now, it's MAGA censorship, first and foremost. It's now immediately become a scandal for Trump's communications official, Brendan Carr. He's facing calls to investigate what he did here and some calls on the left for his resignation.
Donald Trump's FCC is under fire, accused of turning government power into a weapon of censorship. And at the center of this scandal, late-night comedian Jimmy Kimmel. Tonight, we break down how Trump's team may have crossed one of the most dangerous lines in American democracy, using federal agencies to silence critics.
The FCC's actual job is a regulator dealing with communications, promoting competition. That means protecting against, for example, monopolies or one person or company owning too much media in one place. And they deal with regulations for new technologies to flourish alongside diversity and localism. That's diversity of the press, something the Trump administration opposes. They want only their views. And then localism doesn't have to be left or right, just the idea that we care about people getting local coverage in the country. But now under Trump, they have a Project 2025 vet, FCC Chairman Carr, who has a totally different approach. And he is seizing these powers and seeing from the courts and the companies whether he gets away with it.
Think about what that means. The FCC, which was created to regulate communications and ensure competition, suddenly being used as a political weapon. This isn't regulation, this is retaliation. And the target this time, Jimmy Kimmel.
When you look at the conduct that has taken place by Jimmy Kimmel, it appears to be some of the sickest conduct possible, a very reasonable, minimal step that can be taken. I mean, obviously, look, there's calls for Kimmel to be fired. I think, you could certainly see a path forward for suspension over this. And again, the FCC is going to have remedies that we could look at.
We have remedies. Be careful.
Chairman Carr didn't stop at vague threats. He went on a MAGA podcast, spelling out demands that ABC should suspend Kimmel. Not fire him immediately, but suspend him. And that suspension, as we'll see, was only the beginning.
When the news first broke last night, it looked bad. In a First Amendment sense, it looked suspicious. But very quickly, you have all of this other evidence. And that spells out a government censorship campaign. And there are people, and maybe there's more people than usual, who say, if it's for their team or their side, anything goes. But that is, of course, the definition of being lawless. And we aspire to more than being lawless in this country. When it comes to free speech, it's the First Amendment for a reason. So what this looks like is an unconstitutional effort from the government to censor and punish speech. And the wider history is that Donald Trump doesn't hide the ball on these things. It's not a secret. He's not mysterious. If this were a case, as I've mentioned in our coverage, it would hurt the administration, it would hurt the Trump administration as the defendant in a free speech case if they've admitted to all this, because then it looks like the government has a grudge, is unconstitutionally political, and then comes up with or brainstorms other later reasons as the pretext. That would be the tough evidence against them. And then you have the fact that everybody knows this. Jimmy Kimmel had emerged, in fact, more so than some Democrats or writers, because of his reach in media and comedy and culture, as a very consistent and, some would say, effective critic of Donald Trump. And Trump's responding to Kimmel now, not by saying, okay, thanks, glad we got that done. Quite the opposite. Continuing a drumbeat that we've been covering, where when a law firm or a university or a media company gives in to him, he immediately demands more. You have to ask yourself what these executives, including Disney's chief Bob Iger, who we'll get to in a moment, what they think their strategy is. Because immediately after the Kimmel suspension, Trump is publicly demanding other companies oust other hosts, including, full disclosure, our sister channel, NBC, on the entertainment side. And we work with NBC News. We don't do much directly with NBC Entertainment, but he is naming two hosts over there that he wants fired from their late-night appearances. Meanwhile, His enforcer appeared on Fox News and basically admitted the improper motive.
They're now facing the consequences of the choices that they made to appeal to a very, very narrow audience. Again, you can do that. You can start a podcast. You can go on YouTube. But if you're going to have a license from the FCC, we expect you to broadly serve the public interest. And I'm very glad to see that America's broadcasters are standing up to serve the interests of their community. We don't just have this progressive foie gras coming out from New York and Hollywood.
Let's be crystal clear here. The FCC is not supposed to punish comedians. Its job isn't to decide what jokes are acceptable. Yet Trump's appointees made it clear. Cross the president, and your platform could be taken away.
2, legal fact check. The public interest standard is not something that he can just make up and lie about. There is a standard in the FCC rules and under the governing provision by Congress, if you want to get into it, Title 47, about what the public interest means. And it doesn't mean a sitting politician who doesn't like someone because they criticize him just throwing around the word public interest. As for the attack on television, well, we can all discuss how the media has been changing, but Jimmy Kimmel gets over 1.7 million TV viewers, roughly, and has broken out as one of the more popular late-night hosts online. So on YouTube, which is the top streamer, it gets more than Netflix, he's got a whopping 20 million subscribers. So he has a TV audience and a large streaming audience, and no one really takes it that seriously that Trump thinks that it's bad that he's criticized by Kimmel, but also that they believe Kimmel is irrelevant or the FCC wants to help ABC run its business better. The broader effort is Trump trying to distort what people see and hear in the free press. Companies settling sometimes thin or legally frivolous lawsuits rather than go at the administration. But as I just showed you, those efforts are met with more retribution. It was ABC that settled the Stephanopoulos lawsuit, but now they have the Kimmel thing. NBC, again, our sister company, now facing Trump calling to get rid of their late night host. But that's not his only demand. All of this can even chill how the government is covered by outlets that keep their position when you see this much pressure. Now, Trump's attorney general is facing backlash from the right for her First Amendment attack this week, while the FCC chief admits an anti-First Amendment agenda, a big government approach where they want the government, through Trump and his officials, to help run these companies in the way that they think serves them, not you, the public, not free and fair democracy, but just serves their partisan agenda.
And once Disney and ABC executives felt the pressure, they folded. Kimmel was preempted. And just like that, free speech in America looked a whole lot weaker. But Trump wasn't satisfied. He demanded more networks, more hosts, more voices be silenced. This isn't just about one late-night host. It's about precedent. If a president can pressure media companies through the FCC today, what stops the next one from targeting anyone who dares to speak out tomorrow? This is censorship by government power, and it strikes at the very heart of the First Amendment.